It's a uniquely American institution. More than 5,500 clubs in every type of community. Urban areas, suburban areas, military bases, and native lands. Providing a safe space designed to empower our most precious asset, young people. It's the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Tonight, it's a celebration of greatness born from humble beginnings.
Dorchester!
The Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame 2025. This is more than an award ceremony.
Somebody say yeah, yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that behind every success story is a place where someone believed in a child's potential. Our inductees came through the club's doors with dreams and left with the tools to change the world. These are the stories that matter.
Boys and Girls Clubs are more than child care. They are launch pads for life.
Hello, everyone. I'm Courtney B. Vance, and I want to welcome you to this historic celebration, the 35th Annual Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame. For the first time ever, we're bringing you an exclusive look at this event, honoring the incredible individuals whose journeys began inside the club's doors, just like mine did. As a youngster in Detroit, the club was my safe haven. I spent countless hours playing ping pong, diving into the arts and crafts, and dreaming big. It was there that I met my mentor, Mr. George Brown, who saw something in me and helped change the course of my life. Tonight, you'll hear other inspiring stories from our inductees, stories of perseverance, passion, and purpose. We're going to take you behind the scenes with the honorees, showcasing the celebrations that make this event so special. This is more than a show. It's a tribute to the power of opportunity, mentorship, and the limitless potential within every child.
For 35 years, the Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame has honored the extraordinary individuals who began their journeys within club walls, leaders, innovators, and game changers who have shaped our world.
When I was told that I could be a member of the Alumni Hall of Fame, the Boys Club, there was no hesitation. One of the great honors of my life, because the Boys Club got me started.
From Academy Award winner Denzel Washington to sports icons like Shaquille O'Neal, to entertainment superstars like Mario Lopez and Jennifer Lopez, these remarkable alumni all share one thing in common. The Boys and Girls Club helped shape their path to success. But this legacy stretches far beyond the spotlight. Since 1860, Boys and Girls Clubs have been providing young people with a safe, supportive environment to learn, grow, and dream big. Through mentorship, leadership, and opportunity, the club has empowered generations to reach their full potential. Hall of Fame Day begins with a special tradition, the Gold Card Luncheon. It's a chance for the inductees to meet, share their stories, and connect with the legends who came before them.
The Gold Card Luncheon is an important ceremony to the Hall of Fame process. It's the first time the inductees meet each other in a casual setting. It's really about understanding why they're here, what the Boys and Girls Club meant to them, and they get to share that story with their contemporaries, with the class.
My life shifted, it turned and went up.
This year, we proudly celebrate an extraordinary class of Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame inductees. Trailblazers whose journeys will inspire the next generation. We welcome comedian and cultural icon Cedric the Entertainer.
Cedric, you late.
NFL legend Donnie Edwards.
You and Cedric will go last.
Renowned cardiologist and former Miss California, Dr. Rita Ng. Actor and producer Donnie Wahlberg.
We didn't have somewhere to go. We had nowhere to go.
WWE superstar Montes Ford. trailblazing basketball executive Khalia Collier, and NBA champion Derek Anderson. After the break, it's a look at the Boys and Girls Clubs of America's National Conference. This annual event is the backdrop for our Hall of Fame induction. Then, we'll hear heartfelt stories from this year's incredible Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame inductees. Thank you to our partners, Blue Cross Blue Shield Companies, Papa John's, Kohl's and Aaron's, whose support opens the door to building leadership, wellness, workforce readiness, and academic success for over 4 million young people nationwide.
Welcome back to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame 2025, where we're celebrating this year's inductees and, for the very first time, sharing their journeys, stories of resilience, achievement, and the undeniable impact of the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Each year, the Hall of Fame induction takes place at the Boys and Girls Clubs of America National Conference. This year, thousands converged in San Diego, California to network and discuss the best path forward for the club. The Hall of Fame is celebrating its 35th year, and the National Conference is in its 119th year, a testament to its unwavering importance and place as a cherished American institution. Its legacy is written in the countless young lives it has shaped, providing a safe space for kids across the country to learn, grow, and thrive.
For me, the Boys and Girls Club National Conference is all about inspiration and connection.
Every young person in every county, in every community, on every block needs a mentor, a champion in their life, someone that's in their corner, that's invested in them. It's our obligation to ensure that every young person has the support system and the relationships that they need in order to thrive.
No guidance, no mentoring out there in the streets. But the Boys Club remains a safe haven behind these walls, and someone's going to teach you excellence for life. At the Boys Club, it teaches you that there's a way out of no way because there's people who care for you unconditionally.
Before the evening's more formal celebration begins, the inductees attend an invite-only special presentation of the Blue Jacket. These colors and crest are one of a kind and serve as a special reminder of the unique honor it is to be inducted into this Hall of Fame.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for celebrating our inductees today, and let's have a great time.
Cedric the Entertainer from the Boys and Girls Clubs of St. Louis.
CEO of the Boys and Girls Club, Jim Clark, has a special appreciation for what this jacket and crest represent, as well as the importance of the club as a truly American institution.
The blue jacket is the Boys and Girls Club version of the Masters green jacket or the NFL Hall of Fame gold jacket. And it really has quickly become a really prized possession for our alumni. The blue is Boys and Girls Club blue, and that blue color really is a symbol for their journey, going to a Boys and Girls Club, having that caring adult professional as a mentor in their lives. And then we have a really incredible crest. So that crest is the pinnacle of the recognition and symbolic of being inducted into our Hall of Fame and reaching that level. It's also the symbol of coming through some very difficult times in their lives, and times when they could have gone the wrong way, but instead chose to stay with the Boys and Girls Club and ended up going the right way. So this crest has multiple meanings when we think about, just, yes, recognition, but also what it stands for in terms of the journey that they've been on.
When we come back, it's time to honor the legends and the difference makers, and maybe even throw in a few surprises.
That was very sneaky.
The Hall of Fame ceremony begins next. Welcome back to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame 2025. The room is alive with anticipation, a gathering of dreamers, mentors, and trailblazers dressed in their finest. For 35 years, the Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame has honored those whose journeys begin within these club walls. CEO Jim Clark opens the ceremony.
Good evening. There we go.
And in fitting tribute to someone who has dedicated so much to the club, our host, Courtney Vance, is surprised with a blue jacket of his own.
That was very sneaky.
Please welcome Derek Anderson to Boys and Girls Clubs of America's Alumni Hall of Fame.
First to take the stage is NBA star Derek Anderson. This recognition as a new member of the club's Hall of Fame represents a journey from struggle to ultimate success that he now pays forward to his family, friends, and community.
I think everybody has a story to tell. I just think, who are you letting tell that story? For me I wanted to make sure I kept my pen. And what I did was just try to survive. At 10 years old, my dad, he came and had a big argument with my mom that I hadn't seen for 20 years. Right before I turned 12, my mother had left. So I literally lived on my own from I was 12 till I was 17. I went to the club because everybody said you was getting free food on Saturdays. So, I walked up there and was like, well, who's giving the food? Once I got in, I was just always there. Then they had programs and then all these other things. So, 14, I was, of course, living on my own, trying to figure my way, and I had to spend the night in the gym one night. And the janitor came and was like, you can't stay here. So he was like, next time you can stay over my house and I'll bring you back to school. So I went and met his 17-year-old stepdaughter. I was young, didn't know any better. She gets pregnant. My son was born in '88. When he was almost 2, I would take him to the Boys and Girls Club Saturday and we would eat. And people were just like, oh, is that your little brother? And I'm like, yeah. They taught me to get diapers. They said, here's how you do it. So I was learning a lot from the club. And, being a single dad at that age of 15, he's like, you don't know what you're doing at 16. And I would just remember just going back and forth, and he was having a ball. We were playing with toys, and I'll get to take some toys home sometimes. So it was a significant impact on him. And then as he got older, he always wanted to go back to the Boys and Girls Club. My journey was basically survival, but it was all about respect and response. How do I respect myself and others, and how do I respond to every situation? So for me, I just felt like, I gave myself a chance to be better by doing the right things. Having those mentors really helped me be a better person, which helped in turn make me be a better basketball player, better academics, better student athlete. It just helped me be a better, overall better person. We started a Stamina Foundation, and Acts of Kindness is basically a branch off of education, people skills, common courtesy is included, job training. The way you get in our program is you have to do something kind. So we teach acts of kindness, and it's just basically, if you do something kind, send us a video, tell us something you did nice, something you did kind for the community, and we'll get you in our program, and that's it. It's your character that helps us change the community. We've sent over 500 kids to colleges. We've given 1,000 people jobs by teaching them how to work, how to get scholarships. I sent 500 kids to school because I survived through the club. But giving back has to be more than money. Has to be character driven, has to be, something tangible, because I want to help the next Derek Anderson. And I think that was key for me. My wife told me to go back and get your master's, get your degrees, and you can always teach the kids that, you can finish what you started. And it was a great idea because when she did that, I established my psychology degree and started working with the athletes again. And then I got a call from the NBPA, which is the National Basketball Players Association, to come work. And I just started talking to players and try to get them to understand I come from nothing, but a lot of us do. Our job is never to stop, it's just always to leave more than your name. Being inducted in the Boys and Girls Hall of Fame is incredible. It's crazy to even think because you don't believe that it's that powerful until it happens. This helped me become who I am. And as you go back, you start to think like, wow, I would have never made it without getting here. What would I have done if I didn't have food or someone teaching me certain things? I could have went a different way. Winning playing basketball at championships is different than actually being rewarded for who you are as a person. And I think this first time I felt like really that I've done the right things in life. So now that I feel that I've done the right things, I've built my foundation, I've done a good job of leaving something for the next generation, I'm happy that I'm an inductee for the Boys and Girls Hall of Fame, and I can leave more than my name. I just want to bring my son up just so you guys see what the club has done for both of us.
Derek has his son take the stage to join him.
He looks older than me too.
Congratulations.
A meaningful moment for the two who have been through so much together. We're just getting started. After the break, more inspiring journeys from this year's Hall of Fame inductees. Stories that prove the power of opportunity, the strength of community, and the unstoppable spirit of those who dare to dream. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame 2025, where we're celebrating the power of dreams and the people and places that help make them possible.
Please welcome Rita Ng.
This fits a little better than my white coat. I grew up here in Tracy, California. It is the childhood, I think, of your dreams. My parents actually immigrated over here to America. There are 5 of us in our family, 3 boys and 2 girls. We actually didn't have very much growing up. Of course, when you talk about like love and family and community, we had that in abundance. And that's when I think about the Tracy Boys and Girls Club. It was part of my structure, my root, my family. It was the place that we came after school every single day. And this wasn't just for me, it was for all of my siblings and for my parents, where they knew that their kids could go to a safe place to grow and learn and to study and become wonderful contributing human members of society. I remember coming into this very rec room that I'm in right now, where I learned how to play foosball. Really, it was exposure to athletes here and being a part of a team that was so cool. And I was a loyal member of the summer shootout crew. That's how I learned how to play basketball. I subsequently started playing in my school teams in elementary school, middle school, and then high school. We went on to win the high school championship. We were quite proud, and I owe that all to the club. I think it's the many mentors that I had here that never let me stop believing that there was more that was possible.
It's so good to see you, Rita. Hi. Oh, and congratulations on everything. Everything. I mean, come on.
I remember meeting Kevin for the first time, thinking, my goodness, here is a executive director of the Boys and Girls Club, and he cares about what's going to happen to me. He cares and asks, like, what are you gonna be when you grow up?
Rita Ng, just very special, and just has been a star. And we're just blessed to have her as a member of the Boys and Girls Club.
For me, that it has been such a privilege being a part of this family and this community that it's hard to encapsulate how powerful that is in words. I feel very blessed and lucky in my life, and there was a lot of intentionality around it that wasn't because of me. It was because of all these like amazing people around me that made this possible. My little sister had found this flyer on campus that said, your sister or your roommate could be the next Miss America. And she took that and entered me into the pageant unbeknownst to me. Took a lot of convincing. I literally wore lip gloss. I'd never worn makeup before. I literally wore lip gloss and my winter formal gown, and I ended up becoming Miss Los Altos. From there, I graduated from Stanford, and a week later, all my things were in boxes. I went off to the Miss California pageant and ended up winning. I'll tell you, learning how to do my own makeup and walk in heels was probably harder than studying for my MCAT medical school exams. Ended up going to Miss America and winning second runner-up there. The Boys and Girls Club is a part of my core. And when I say core, I mean my value system, who I am as a person, what I aspire to be for my community, whether it's in medicine, philanthropy, the business world, or as a mom. The Boys and Girls Club is the place that I come back to anchor myself in what is really beautiful and wonderful and good in this world. I'm a concert pianist, I'm a global healthcare leader, but most of all, I'm a club kid.
Please welcome Donnie Edwards to Boys and Girls Clubs of America's Alumni Hall of Fame.
Good evening. There we go. I'm a linebacker. That's how we roll, right? I like that. I like that. Oh yeah, this is my first game in 2002 as a San Diego Charger. I was so overwhelmed. Dream come true. Started right here at the Boys and Girls Club. I'm born and raised right here. Grew up with 8 other siblings right here in National City. Being in a big family, you know, single parent, on welfare, Section 8 housing, food stamps, WIC. There's some challenging times for sure. I tell you, for my mom, it was great to know that all of her kids were at a place where it was safe, they're getting some food, they're being active, you know, they're learning some skills. Who knew what could happen if I was out there not having any type of purpose or goal oriented? So this was a great place for me to feel safe. You know, in this gym, many years ago, I was playing soccer. I see a soccer ball over there. And I was a little aggressive, you can imagine. I was a little aggressive. And the coach suggested I try out for Pop Warner football. And I decided this is something that I might want to do. I ended up signing up and joining at 7 or 8 years old and playing Pop Warner football. I made a tackle in that first game that I played, stripped the ball, picked it up, ran it for a touchdown. And I never forget because I started to cry. And I started to cry because I feel like there's something I'm good at. You know, I can do this. That was the first instance that I've realized that, you know what, I can do this. And if I work hard at it, I can be successful. All my family served in the military, starting with my grandfather, who was a Pearl Harbor survivor. He always talked about, you're not a victim, you're a victor. You're born in the greatest country in the world, and you can do anything if you work hard. And I never forgot that. So starting the foundation was in his honor and his legacy to take care of his brothers and sisters, and it's kind of expanded. You know, playing pro football, having an opportunity to get educated, changing my life. I'm living the American dream. And I want to say thank you. This is my way to say thank you and making sure that we don't forget about their service and sacrifice to this country. You know, sometimes people say they did it by themselves. Not me, not at all. There's a collective amount of people in my life, from coaches to mentors to teachers, that were all instrumental to help. And I'll never forget that. I feel really proud. I'm really honored to be part of this incredible group of people who had their roots at the Boys and Girls Club. And to look back and to know that this was such an integral part of my development and my life. You know, this is not just about me. This is about everybody who helped contribute to my success. To say, like, Donnie, you can do it. You can be successful. You know, when I walk around this club today, I see a lot of these young kids that were just like little old Donnie. That's why I choose to serve and to give back, because someone served and gave back to me as a young kid, you know, and there's a success story in that. And I want to be that same person to give that success to other young kids who some people may say that they're a victim. And I say, no, you're not a victim. You won. You won. You can do it too. I'm living proof. Thank you for believing in kids like me.
Stick around. After the break, we're taking a look at the one and only Cedric the Entertainer. Before the sold-out shows, the sitcoms and sharp suits, there was the club. Welcome back to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame 2025, where the power of potential takes center stage. We've already seen just how far the journey can go, from the operating room with Dr. Rita Ng to the NFL and beyond with Donnie Edwards. Their stories remind us that the club doesn't just change lives, it shapes leaders.
Please welcome Cedric the Entertainer Kyles.
One of the kings of comedy, a TV and film icon, and a true master of making us laugh.
Oh, man, this is a nice room right here. We number one.
Cedric the Entertainer has been bringing joy to millions for decades.
I grew up in a small town, Caruthersville, Missouri, moved to St. Louis when I was about 11 years old. That's a small environment to the big city. I'm a young guy, I move into my aunt's house, 11 kids, a lot still fighting for attention. But the neighbors around my age, they went to the Boys and Girls Club. So my first time going in there is very intimate, very personal. Everybody's, really interested in you as a kid. The opportunity to learning how to play sports, that was the big thing. As a young player, it was pretty decent. Played shortstop, pitch sometimes. I would hit the ball pretty long. Enjoyed that side until I grew from the Little League team to the guys that were a lot older. Somebody threw a pitch at me that was probably around 73 miles an hour one day, and it got close. And I was like, okay, I don't think this is gonna be for me. And that's when you realize, oh, I'm a mama's boy. Okay, I see what's going on. I see where the title comes from. Inside a house with 11 kids in the inner city of St. Louis, it was fairly chaotic and rough. They were known as the tough family, and I was not that. I was the country dude. So I was really happy to be inside an environment that kind of had structure and just led me to what I consider, positive behavior and being a good citizen. I think those are some of the, early spaces where you recognize, like, oh, I'm me and I'm okay to be me. To be in a space where people kind of saw you for you, I think that was great. I was more of, an artsy kind of kid, more like want to do plays, sing songs, and it's not very hood. You want to do Hamlet. I kind of grew up with just my mom, and my mom, again, as an educator, as a young lady raising 2 kids, could be somewhat protective, somewhat fearful of the world. And so, you find yourself, maybe not taking a lot of chances. But when you go into an organization like Boys and Girls Club, you're in there with other kids. You find kids that have similar kind of experiences. There is an environment of inclusion and acceptance and learning to get along. And then this is where you find your confidence. You notice that you actually have something to offer. You have something to bring to the table, things that, in a single family household, you may not even know about yourself, that you can actually contribute to the whole. I mean, for God's sake, I'm now about to have a blue jacket, and I told him, I was like, man, I ain't even know about the blue jacket. I'm so excited about the jacket. I'm like, give me the jacket. I was like, this is almost like Augusta. The organization is really real. They are very effective in what they do and what they offer the community, what they offer kids, what they offer families. I'm really proud of that, and that's one of the reasons why I still, continue to help and be involved. I'm in a fraternity of really dope people that have, either experienced Boys and Girls Club or are a big part of it in making sure that the word is spread and helping support it. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Thank y'all so much, man.
Please welcome Khalia Collier.
Breaking barriers and paving the way for the next generation, Khalia Collier is a force in the world of professional sports. As VP and Chief of Staff for Basketball Operations of the Dallas Mavericks, she's redefining women's leadership. But her journey started in St. Louis, where the Boys and Girls Club helped ignite her passion for the game.
Who doesn't want to rock a blue jacket? This is such an incredible experience. It's an incredible honor. I think I said when I got the phone call, I was like, me? With this lineup, with this roster, it's humbling, it's an honor. It's also something for me to be really proud of. First introduction to the club, I think I was 7.5, and I was on a competitive basketball team. I wasn't really a sports camp kid, I was a real club kid. I went to the after-school program, and being able to go in, especially as you got into middle school, it was like getting a whole nother friend group. And as someone who first love is basketball, is what I literally ate, breathed, and slept is basketball. And so I think the club experience for me was being in an environment to where, you brought your books to be able to study, to have fun, to just kick it and relax, but also to have this recreational time. I didn't have a ping pong table at home. You didn't have those things, a foosball, where you got to see just a whole different realm of not only friends and club members, but also adults who set examples. There were role models, there were mentors, there were coaches that really had your best interests at heart. that told you the things that you should do to learn and grow, and then also taught you the things that you shouldn't do. And it absolutely has shaped who I am today. My dad was my first basketball coach, instilling values in me that were far beyond the game. My mother instilled in me if better is possible, good is not enough. And from that started my trajectory of consistency and discipline and dedication into sports. I've really earned my stripes by putting in a lot of hours. And it started with taking this crazy leap of faith and buying a basketball team at 23 in my hometown and building it from scratch, winning a couple national championships along the way, and then having the opportunity to then get recruited by the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like I live my dream every day. I live my purpose, and even on the tough days, I wouldn't do anything different. There's truly a light at the end of the tunnel, even in times of uncertainty. This is incredible.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame will continue after the break.
Welcome back to our celebration of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame 2025, where we are honoring the dreamers, the doers, and the difference makers. It's been a night full of inspiration and touching moments. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this incredible evening so far.
Well, good evening.
That's not gonna work.
Good evening. There we go.
That was very sneaky.
This is the first award I've ever gotten based upon my character. That shows a lot. And lastly, I just want to bring my son up just so you guys see what the club has done for both of us.
We're in the grace to have 3 World War II veterans sitting right over here. Betty Rosevere, she's 103 years old. Bill Becker, he's 99 years old. And Mr. Calvin Schreiner, 101 years old.
As you go through this organization, to be a part with so many people here that's turned out to be great and beautiful and contributing men and women is what I'm most proud of wearing this jacket today. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Thank y'all so much.
I'm so inspired by so many, but who doesn't want to rock a blue jacket?
Behind every success story is someone who believed in us before we believed in ourselves. For so many of our Boys and Girls Club members, that someone was a mentor, a coach, a teacher, a club leader, who offered guidance and a steady voice in moments that mattered most.
We listen to our kids, and then we hire and train and retain our talented staff. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. They may not remember the program, but they're going to remember the mentor. They're going to remember the coach.
When you grow up being loved, most of the time you're gonna show love. When every club kid can recite somebody's name who guided them and showed them unconditional love as though it was yesterday, that means a lot.
The main thing here is like family. I felt like everyone in the club was like looking out for me, cheering for me, rooting for me, like behind me, like just inspired me to be like the greatest person I could possibly be.
Please welcome Kenneth Crawford.
Our next inductee steps into the spotlight. Kenneth Crawford, known to millions around the world as Montes Ford. To WWE fans, he's a champion. But before the bright lights and roaring crowds, the Boys and Girls Club was his arena, a place of refuge, a proving ground where he found strength, teamwork, and the belief that greatness was within reach.
I was born in Blue Island, Illinois, and we actually moved out to Hammond, Indiana, where I went to the Greater Northwest Boys and Girls Club. I was the youngest of 3 siblings. I had my older sister, Kanisha, who's not with us anymore, my older sister, Kier. They were all also members of the club as well. And I think because of the functionality of my parents working and being so busy, they was trying to find something that they can get all three of us involved with at the same time, you know, and that's when the Boys and Girls Club came into play. And I'm so glad it did, because like, I can remember as a child, those moments of being in the club, the best moments of my life. Boys and Girls Club was kind of like the perfect setting for us. Every day was new, it was a new experience, it was new fun, it was new energy. They had character development, how to speak, how to talk. They had sexual education. They had all these things that are so fundamental growing up. As a kid, I loved wrestling. I dreamed about wrestling. I had so much energy to the point my mother had to put me in the club with my two older sisters to get that energy out. I've been part of WWE now. I hit 10 years last week. It's been the best time of my life.
Your new WWE Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits!
To do these Tribute for Troops shows. And when I go and talk to the troops, I'm like, man, like, it's so inspiring to see someone who was just like us now make it. Any type of way you could be a beacon or a beam of light to people to show them like your efforts and whatever you put your mind to can happen. I'm glad that I'm one of the examples of that it can happen. And I feel like the Boys and Girls Club was and is the essential building block for what I'm doing today. The Hall of Fame, first of all, I'd like to say it's an honor to be considered, recognized, acknowledged for it. If you just look at the roster of the people who has been inducted already, it just shows you the complete range and how solidified this club and how much it truly means, not just for this country, but for the world. Because everyone who's been inducted has contributed to this world in a mass amount of way, still contributing, still giving back. The future is always important. The future is always bright. And the Boys and Girls Club is the best organization for helping these young kids have the building blocks to be the best person that they can be when they get older. And I'm so glad that I'm standing here with you all talking, being an example of that, because this world is big, scary, but the Boys and Girls Club doesn't make you feel that way. I'm proud to say that I'm a walk-in Boys and Girls Club example of unlocking your full potential. Give yourselves a hand.
Nah. You gotta give yourselves a hand. Because you gotta look at every single person that's been inducted into this Hall of Fame, and it's all because of you all's works.
After the break, we ask a simple but important question. Why does America need club kids? Welcome back to Boys and Girls Clubs of American Alumni Hall of Fame 2025. As we celebrate the remarkable journeys of our Boys and Girls Club Hall of Famers, we're reminded that their stories didn't begin on stage or in the spotlight. They begin in clubhouses, where hope walks through the door every day. So we asked a simple question. Why does America need club kids?
That's a question that answers itself, because you have kids that are surrounded with love, that have the opportunity to be in safe spaces, that have the opportunity to lead and follow and to learn intangibles of what it means to truly not only just be a good person, but to be a good citizen.
The world will be a better place because of Boys and Girls Club and having more Boys and Girls Club facilities and programs across the United States.
The world is funding something that is making these young adults become the greatest that they can possibly be.
And we need as many good people and kind people and compassionate people and people that care about others in this world exponentially. So the opportunity, support, to invest, to give your time, to volunteer, it's a no-brainer. You get to choose to be compassionate, and that's why we need club kids. And we need more in America and all around the world.
To learn more about Boys and Girls Club, to get involved or to make a contribution, please scan this QR code and it'll take you right to a page that'll help you do that.
Please welcome Donnie Wahlberg.
The final inductee of the evening is Donnie Wahlberg, a true hometown hero whose extraordinary career as an actor and performer has spanned decades. His journey began at the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club.
Dorchester!
And tonight we celebrate not just how far he's come, but the deep roots and community that helped shape him.
First of all, it's a tremendous honor
It's interesting, you know, if in our present state to be honored, it's like, oh wow, that's really cool. But you know, when you go back to being a kid and think of it in that context, it's a little overwhelming. Like, we're not the ones who really deserve to be honored. It's all the people who've helped us in the Boys and Girls Club. That said, you know, to be honored and recognized, it's a thrill. And to come here to San Diego, it's kind of more than I probably was expecting. The honor itself is enough, but to see the lengths that everyone's going to today to make this such a special experience, it's really humbling. The Boys and Girls Club, it's helped so many of us find our way to the right path in life. For many of us, it was safe in that it was saving our lives. You know, it's not only a safe place to be, to express yourself, to discover yourself, to make friends, to bond and make lifelong relationships, but for some of us, it was a place to save our lives. You know, my mom was struggling to get by when her and my dad broke up, and you know, our family was broken. And we moved to a new neighborhood, and in many ways, we had a roof over our head, but in many ways, we needed shelter, and we found it. It sounds almost silly to say that, you know, my first thought of like, what was one of the most impactful things about the Boys and Girls Club was that there was heat. You know, there wasn't heat in our house, and there wasn't heat in the streets. That's how necessary it was. Sometimes that's the only food some of us had. How could you ever forget that and the impact it has on you? A lot of club kids, you know, their families may not be able to afford to put them in an organized sports league. You know, Little League, as fun as it is and important as it is to so many people, you still gotta pay like 10 bucks. And when you come from a family of 9 and your sister needs this for her activities and your other sister needs this and your brothers all need this, there's not 10 bucks. And when you have nothing, that small amount of money that it costs is a fortune. And to have somewhere to go where you can take part in these activities and be competitive and get all that energy out and have coaching and discipline and people sort of helping you along the way, it's critical. It really is critical. As a Bostonian, it's an important thing to not forget where you come from. We're oftentimes running to get out of Boston to come back and give back. There's no greater inspiration than putting on that jacket to pay it forward. It's not just an honor, it's a responsibility. I think of how many times my life could have turned out differently if I made a left instead of a right. When you turn into the Boys and Girls Club, your life's gonna turn out a lot better than it would if you make the opposite choice.
And with a fitting tribute to end the evening, Donnie reminds us all in attendance of one simple fact.
To all of you, all the staff, the counselors, everybody, thank you for what you do. You are changing the world, and you've been changing it, and you will forever be essential in so many lives. So thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us for this very special and historic first ever look at the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame 2025. We've been honored to celebrate the incredible journeys of this year's inductees, each one a more powerful reminder of what's possible when young people are given the space, support, and encouragement to dream big. Across the country, local Boys and Girls Clubs are shaping futures every single day. And who knows, the next Hall of Famer, doctor, athlete, artist, or change maker might be walking through their doors right now. And if you're inspired by what you've seen tonight, we encourage you to support your local club however you can. Because greatness starts with opportunity, and America needs club kids. I'm Courtney B. Vance. Thank you for watching.
A special thanks to Aaron Levine for his support of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame.